Yo, what it do, y'all? It's your boys, Too Deep.
Salute.
Your boy Drew, my brother Knifer. We here with the Hip Hop is Dead reaction. We about to wrap up this album right here, y'all. This is the last track of the album. I believe so. There's two more tracks that they show under this song, but I'm not. We're not really sure if it's part of this album because it has a whole different cover. Maybe it's bonus tracks. That's why we're gonna leave it up to y'all and for y'all to let us know in the comments down below if those songs are part of this album. But like I said, regardless if they're not, we're still gonna check them out anyways. But as far as we're concerned, as far as we see, this is the last song of the album, and we about to wrap it up with this song. And so far, and from what we heard from this album is freaking fire. Just like every other Nas album, man. I've said this before, and I'm gonna say it again. I still have not yet to hear a bad Nas album, and I don't think I'm ever gonna hear a bad Nas album. You know, even when we get to the late Nas albums, like the 2010s and whatever like that. Usually, rappers, you know what I'm saying, like after a certain point, they're not making as good music as they was when they first came out. But Nas is definitely one that stood consistent.
Nas never disappoints, man.
Yeah. So we about to wrap it up with this. It's called Shine On. Let's get it.
Get your shine on.
Sound like we watching a movie.
Everybody wants heaven, but nobody wants dead. Everybody wants diamonds without the bloodshed. Everybody
Man,
wants heaven, but nobody
everybody
wants
wants
dead.
heaven, but
Everybody
nobody
wants
wants
diamonds
dead.
without.
Everybody wants heaven, but what was it?
Everybody wants heaven, but nobody wants dead.
Everybody wants heaven, but nobody wants dead. Everybody.
That's real right there. Everybody wants heaven. If you think about it, everybody wants to make it to heaven. Like I want to go to heaven. You know what I'm saying? Like I wanna make it to heaven. I want to be in heaven. But nobody wants, like, we don't want to die though at the same time. You know what I mean? Like that's real. That's real.
Everybody wants heaven, but nobody wants dead. Everybody wants diamonds without the bloodshed. Everybody wants heaven, but nobody wants dead. Everybody wants diamonds without the bloodshed. They want to shine on, shine on,
Okay,
shine
everybody
on,
wants
shine on.
everybody wants diamonds without the bloodshed. Like, you know what I'm saying? Everybody want, you know what I'm saying? Everybody want money. You know what I'm saying? Everybody want to be rich. But you gotta work for it, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, you gotta, you know.
Everybody want things to just come
yeah,
to them.
You know,
Yeah.
ain't shit gonna come knocking at your door, man. You gotta go work for it, man.
You gotta shed blood, sweat, and tears for it, man.
Diamonds without the bloodshed. They want to shine on, 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 shine on. Yeah, they dug me out the soil and the mines in the motherland. Now I'm displaced one hand to another hand. Illegal smuggling, people struggling. Wish they could just throw me back in the mud again. Yeah, guess that's how we got here. Slave trade and the diamond trade. Every child's afraid when his mother and father get sprayed. Forced in the army, young killer brigade. Gets a new name that he give his nose glue. Till his mind can't take what he's going through. Looking in that dirt for that ice so blue. Been the royal family the ice goes to. And this thing has to change. Feeling half ashamed as I rap with my platinum chain. When you shot for a gift for me, you think about the misery. The same way we made apartheid history. We can do the same thing to the conflict ice. But everybody wanna shine, right? Everybody wants heaven, but nobody wants dead. Everybody wants diamonds without the bloodshed. Everybody wants heaven, but nobody wants dead. Everybody wants diamonds without the bloodshed. They wanna shine on, 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 shine on. My BBS glimmers on my chest, 200,000 crusted watch on my wrist. I wonder how people starve to death when God bless the land that lacks the harvest. The stones of quality, but they homes of poverty. And the whole world ignores the robbery. Bought my girl pretty rocks when she mad at me. Teardrop shape, perfect clarity. In shock, so many are killed annually. Cause of greed, lust, and pure vanity. Stop talking and do something about it. Every holiday season, jewelry stores crowded. Kids snatched from their homes, mutilated alive. Husbands separated from wives. Keeping Jesus peace to be fly. But back in the day, there was a time when they called us shine. Everybody wants heaven, but nobody wants dead. Everybody
Rock a Jesus piece to just be fly. I ain't gonna lie, that was me at some point. I was rocking a Jesus piece just to be fly. You know what I'm saying? When really, if you rocking a Jesus piece, man, you gotta know why you rocking it, man. You know what I mean? And a lot of people, they just rock it because it's like, I'm
Nigga, they
looking
shine
fly,
on.
yeah.
Keep a Jesus piece to be fly. But back in the day, there was a time when they called us shine. Everybody wants heaven, but nobody wants dead. Everybody wants diamonds without the bloodshed. Everybody wants heaven, but nobody wants dead. Everybody wants diamonds without the bloodshed. They want to shine on it, 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 shine on it.
And if I'm not mistaken, this song sounds like it's a shot at the new artists that was out at the time. You know what I mean? Like in the 2006 era where this came out. Freaking, you know what I'm saying? He's basically saying like, oh, like everybody just wants to shine. Nobody wants to really, like, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's just getting shine. You know what I'm saying? Like, which is why all these whack rappers are coming out, because everybody's just getting it easy like that. You know what I'm saying? All the good rappers, all the ones that are really talented are not getting the shine, while all the whack ones are blowing up because they just, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I could be wrong, but that's how I'm seeing it in some way.
That's what he's saying they, you know, they want to shine on. Like,
Yeah, you know what I mean? Y'all get where I'm coming from.
Shine on it, 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 shine on it.
Arabic sound or some shit.
And that's that, yo. That's Hip Hop Is Dead. Yo, that song, I like that song. That song was hot. I like it. It was a good outro. That was basically an outro.
Yeah, it was like an outro.
Yeah. I like it. Now this whole album overall, fire, man. Like, Nas really made a huge impact with this album right here. Hip Hop Is Dead. The title says it all. You know what I'm saying? He ain't get metaphoric with it or anything like that. He just simply put it for you to understand. Hip hop is dead. Hip hop is dead. And he basically made this album to, like, revive it. You know what I mean? Like, he saw hip hop was dying, and here Nas came for the savior to revive hip hop with this whole album right here. You know what I mean? Now, like I say a lot before in our old videos and whatever like that. We never really, you know what I'm saying, we didn't grow up on Nas's music like that. You know, we grew up on his mainstream music, but as far as like his whole catalog, we never really grew up on him like that. So when this came out, which was 06, I was into, like, you know, in 06, me and Nightfall, you know what I'm saying, we was into, like, you know, 50, the whole aftermath, you know what I'm saying? So had we been into this at this time, we would have saw and we would have, like, realized, and, like, we would have been in tune with it the whole time, even at its time that, like, Nas was reviving hip hop with this whole album right here. You know what I'm saying? But we, like I said, you know what I'm saying, we wasn't in tune at the time, so we didn't see this. So listening to this album now, like, what, 16 years after its, or 16 or 13 years or 14 years around there after its release, listening to it that many years later, and we know what I'm saying, we're like, it's mind blowing, man. You know what I'm saying? It's really mind blowing for me, man. Like, this like, I can't believe it. I say it so many times. I can't believe I never really, like, listened to Nas like that growing up, man. But Nas is definitely one of the GOATs. He's definitely one of the greatest of all time. There's no there's no way you could talk about the greatest of all time without mentioning Nas in that list, man. Definitely.
It's just like how I said before, man. You know, I was familiar with Nas. I always, always knew about Nas. But again, like he said, at the time, you had 50 blowing up. What I'm saying. With that whole shit going on, and just, when. We just be focused on life, so it's like, it wasn't, well, as far as for me, I wasn't really like heavy on the music like that, like, oh, let me check this dude out, let me check that dude out,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, like, I was, with more was like, what was popping on the radio, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
When 50 was coming up, like, I knew about 50 from when he was starting, so I was like, knowing that he was coming up, I'm like, you know what I'm saying, I was like, I was a big fan of 50. You know what I'm saying? So, I was, more growing up on 50 and shit, but I regret it though, not following up on Nas, man, because, I listen to Nas now and I'm like, wow, like, he was, he's a fucking beast, you know what I'm saying?
He's a beast.
Beast, yo. Like,
And that's another thing, like, as a kid, back, when this came out in 2006, when Nas was dropping music a lot in the early 2000s and the mid 2000s, whatever, I was only like, 10 years old, 9 years old, around there. So I wasn't really worrying about like, oh, let me listen to this rapper's album. Let me listen to this guy's album. He just dropped a new album, so let me listen to this whole album. Now was when I'm doing all of this. You know what I'm saying? Like, just last year, I listened to all of Jay-Z's albums for the first time in my life. Now I'm a Jay-Z fan. And I've never been a Jay-Z fan before. Now is when I'm listening to all Nas's albums. Now is when I'm listening to who else is it? There was a point where I was like, I think it was a few months ago, I was listening to all of Outkast's albums. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would have never been doing that back in the days. I guess it's the maturity in me. I guess I'm getting older now. I'm interested of listening to like everybody's music, you know what I'm saying? For some reason. But yeah, man, that's it. Hip Hop is Dead. We wrap this album up. This whole album gets a 10. What about you, Nightfall? What you give this
that's
album?
a fact, man. I give this album a 10.
Definitely.
And I feel like so far it's one of his most underrated albums right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, people.
Definitely.
I feel like, people just like, this album doesn't get mentioned enough. You know what I'm saying? When
Oh
we talk
yeah,
about
facts,
you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? You really only hear about Illmatic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the main one,
Yeah,
Illmatic, or It Was Written.
Yeah, it was written. You know what I'm saying? This album doesn't really get mentioned enough. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he said it best. Definitely, facts.
You know what I mean? So, I fuck with this album. You know what I mean? And another thing I was gonna say was like, just me. This is just me. If we talk about back in the days, the last album that I really copped off for Nas, that I was like, that I was familiar with Nas at the time, somewhat, was the Stillmatic.
Stillmatic,
Was
yeah.
the Stillmatic. But then I heard on there, I'm a Mobb Deep. I'm a Mobb Deep fan to the fullest. You know what I'm saying? I fuck with Prodigy. Prodigy's, one of my favorite rappers of all time. And he dissed Prodigy on there. I was like, oh, come on, now what you doing? You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, nah, I'm rocking with Prodigy, man. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of made me fall back on Nas, because I'm like, yo, what you doing this in Prodigy, man? Like, I thought, you know what I'm saying? So, that was just me, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was being loyal to my artist at the time, you know what I mean? To one of my favorite artists.
That's respectable. You gotta respect that. Alright, y'all. So that's that. Hip Hop is Dead. We're done with that album. I'm not quite sure what album comes next. I'm gonna have to, look it up online. Which album comes after Hip Hop is Dead? Yeah, I'm not sure what album comes next. The only album I could think of after this is Good Life, which came out in 2012. But that's like 6 years apart from this. And I'm pretty sure he had to have some album between that. Or at least 2 or whatever. So, y'all let us know in the comments, man. Only y'all would know best. Y'all the real Nas fans right there, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all been Nas fans since day one. I know there's a lot of day one Nas fans that be watching us. You know what I mean? And we salute y'all for watching us, man. But, Y'all let us know in the comment, man, which album comes after this one. You know, for me, like I said, Good Life is the only album I could think of that comes after this. But I'm pretty, like I said, that's 6 years apart. So I'm pretty sure Nas had to have dropped something between that. He had to. But I'm gonna look it up myself. But anyways, it's been real, man. You know what I'm saying? With this whole Hip Hop Is Dead album, man. Till next time, till we get to the next album. But we actually we still gonna be checking out Nas features. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be checking out Nas features, Nas collaborations he done with other artists. So y'all stay tuned with it. So y'all stay tuned for that. You know what I mean? Hit the like, subscribe if you're new. We out, man. It's your boy Drew, my brother Knifer.
Salute to y'all, man.
Thank you for tuning in.
Appreciate y'all.
We
Love.
out.